Hey everybody, I think we're live. It looks like we're live. How are you all doing? I'm gonna pretend that we are alive here. Okay. Whew. Hey everybody, my name is Lars Christensen and welcome to live stream number 144. Brand new setup here that I'm kind of playing with. Still gotta make some changes, but definitely need to know how this looks from you guys. I did a short live stream yesterday, just kind of giving an update why there was some delay, and a couple of people reached out who knows a lot more about this kind of stuff than I do. So definitely love to get your guys' feedback. Not gonna spend too much time talking about this whole setup, but got some blue lighting going on in the background that I think I kind of dig. But of course, when this live stream is over, I'm gonna go look at the recording and kind of like reevaluate everything. So today, I thought one of the good things we could talk about today is learning. Because one of the things I talked about yesterday is I'm also using a new broadcasting software, what may or may not be a good thing. But I'm kind of like going through the exact same things that I know a lot of you guys going through learning Fusion 360. And it's this frustration, I call it, or confusion about learning a new piece of software. And I thought that maybe we could dedicate today's live stream to just kind of like talk about a few tips and tricks on how to really, I would say, learning anything. So what I want to do is I want to show you a couple of tips on Fusion 360. So what you definitely should know that is available with learning content. Then I want to give you a couple of tips and tricks about my YouTube channel. And then in the end, I want to show you a technique that I have used for learning new software and pretty much done a lot of different things, like with mind mapping, how you can break it down like that. So I hope that will be good. So today's topic is how do I learn Fusion 360, or really maybe learning a lot of other things. I definitely had to use this to learn this new broadcasting software that I'm using to handle this live stream. All right, let me just see here on my screen. I'm sorry, this is gonna be a lot smoother sooner. I just need to make sure it looks like I am fully live. Yep, we got 117 people. Okay, good. I'm gonna get off this screen. Hopefully I never need that one again. So I appreciate it. Yeah, so first of all, brand new setup. I need your feedback. If you have, like, a lot of you guys have a lot of like has experience with like this kind of stuff with like exposure and all these different, I would definitely love to get your feedback on what needs to change with this. Am I too bright? Am I too dark? Whatever. One of the things I did with my broadcasting software that I'm kind of excited about, I guess, is I got a logo down here in the lower corner now. That's something that I just learned today. Okay, doesn't really matter much. So a couple of things I want to talk about when it comes to learning, and you know, I know that some of you guys who's watching this, you guys have used Fusion for a long time and know a lot of things. You might like some of the things that I'm bringing up in the end. But it is confusing when you're learning anything. And it doesn't really matter if it is your Fusion 360 CAD, or if it's any other type of program. We've all kind of like been in there. And it's because there's so much, right? So what I would recommend, if you're brand new to Fusion, if you go up here and click on the help file, there is a Learn Fusion 360 here. I'm going to click on that link. And you will be presented with a series of videos. And these are done in a really good manner. These are done by, I know that Rob Cohey, who have done a lot of inventor learning, Bryce Haventhal are in here too. What they're trying to do is create some small size, bite-sized videos, kind of like covering sketching, importing, all these different topics you see over here. And I'm going to come back to kind of like my way of wrapping around this. But this stuff, the short videos, 5 minutes, I would not really call them so much tutorials, I think, because I think tutorials is really click by click by click, though that you can of course pause, scroll back, but these, I think this is like good bite size to kind of like start wrapping your head around Fusion 360, because that's what happens when you're learning anything. Is you're opening up Fusion or any other thing, and the first thing you get overwhelmed with, you know, I don't even know what it can do. For example, this broadcasting software that I'm using today, I know it can do a billion things. I'm gonna have to learn it all, but I can't learn it all right that minute. I kind of like gotta break it down into sections. So for example, today I needed to be able to live stream to YouTube so you can see it. Now tomorrow I'm gonna have to live stream to Facebook in the evening. So I didn't learn about Facebook today. That's for tomorrow. So breaking it down into sections can help. But what you will see here is that this kind of like gives you a little bit of an idea about what the software kind of can do, because that's the first thing when you're entering Fusion 360 is just trying to understand what the heck am I in for here. So that was the link found right up under. If you hit the question mark, hit Learn Fusion 360, that will take you to this one. The second one that you need to know about, that is, I'm just gonna see if there's any. Okay, looks like we don't. Oh, if you had a little, we're gonna talk about fuzzy here in a second. A little darker. All right, looks like people can see me and hear me. The other one I want you to we're gonna get to that in a second. Another thing here is if you click on the support learning, there is a start here. So this is the first link here was where we got into this place with all the short videos. The other thing is this start here. That will bring you over to this side. You got to put in your Fusion ID to get in here. But this was done by the adoption team. And if you click on the start learning here, you will find some, oh, that's when you get prompt to sign in, I guess. Okay. Oh, so if you want to email me, my email is lars.christensen @autodesk.com. There you go. There's my, and then you got to get my password. I can't give you that, right? My bank account. What you will find in here is a lot deeper sessions, and you can see here there's a getting started with 24 lessons. Here you can really dive in. So this is deep diving into things. If you scroll down here a little bit, you will see that there is some areas specifically for designers, specifically for engineers. There is also, then it breaks it down into like user interface. There's also down here my friend Aaron, sheet metal, direct editing, direct modeling. Look at all this stuff. Additive. So Aaron did one on additive, so 3D printing, what to take into consideration. So that's the two I would recommend that you should be aware of on kind of like the Autodesk site. So this really here, you can, I mean, here you can spend weeks and weeks learning this stuff. Now, the other thing that I wanted to show you, let's just close this down, was if we go to my YouTube channel. So thank you so much for watching these live streams. There's two things I wanted to show you here. First of all, if it looks fussy, will you just do me one favor? Make sure on the gear icon that you have set this to, so if it goes to auto, then it will try to YouTube will try to lower the resolution for giving you the best experience. We should be shooting now in 1080. So you should be able, if you have the bandwidth, and I have the bandwidth, what I should have, you should be good in 1080. So that would be if it's a little fussy when I switch back to the camera here. I hope. Well, you know, this is all new. A couple of things you can do. Of course, you can always go in on my YouTube channel. You can go in and click on videos, but then you can present it with like a long list. and this can get a little daunting, and I don't blame anybody for think that this is a little. I'm working. I want to do something better than this, but what I can offer you right now is 2 tricks. One, if you go to playlists, one is called Absolute Beginner live streams, and this is from the YouTube. This is really good if you're brand spanking new with Fusion. I really try on these live streams here, and by the way, if you click on it and start with the first one, but if you go up and click up here, then it will kind of like give you the whole thing. I really do my best here to try to make these as starting from the beginning in here. So that's one thing I wanted to show you. So that was the Absolute Beginner live stream recordings. There's 13 of them right now. Then there's these live streams in here. And I understand, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to click on the icon up here to the upper right so we kind of get the list. And again, I understand that this is also daunting if you're fairly new to try to scroll through all of these. What you can do is you can do Control F, and that will give you the find function in here. And now you can actually search. So for example, if you search for something like sweep, then you will see that it will search into different area here. If we go and we search something like cam, you will see that there's 20 subject in there. So this is the best I can do when it comes to searching. So that's kind of like just what I wanted to show you, kind of like what's going on with those 2 things. So Fusion 360, go up and hit the little question mark, hit the Learn Fusion 360. Those videos, the short videos, will give you really good, like, just sit down with a glass of wine or scotch if it's after 5 o'clock or whatever, and kind of like just take that in and kind of like understand what you can do. And then there is the Start Here learning portal, deep diving, and then these few tricks with the live stream. And of course, important also to say in here with these. So if we just click on one of these live streams, so like I said, make sure that you click on the little gear icon. Make sure you set the quality to the highest you can. So you can see this was captured in 120. I think now you should be able to get 1080. The other thing, a little tip I want to give you is, and I do this all the time, you can change the speed. So if you think that I talk too much, I got a couple of emails like that, you can change the speed in here. And I do that a lot when I'm watching YouTube learning content. I set it to a time and a half. Then it goes a little bit faster, but you can still understand what people say. Of course, the other great thing about these live streams and being recorded is you can always rewind back if you missed a bit. So make sure you get the quality set, and then this speeding thing here is a nice little trick. The last thing I want to show you is more about learning in general, and I actually use this. I use this a lot, and it's called mind mapping, and some of you guys might probably already familiar with mind mapping. Let me show you 2 different ways that I have used it. One for learning software like Fusion 360, and then also actually how I used it also on the manufacturing floor. Now I searched up here in Google Mind Map Online, and I clicked on the first one here that says Mind Map 2. I don't know, there's probably all different kinds of ones. I'm gonna click Get Started and create a new map. You can probably do all kinds of things in these, but just keep it somewhat simple. I'm just gonna select this one here. So with Fusion 360, what I would do if I was gonna learn Fusion 360, and this was actually what I did with this software that I need to use here. So let's go in here and type in Fusion 360, right? So there we have the software. And if I just make this a little smaller, so we have Fusion back here. So what we could do was we could actually break this down. So if you look in here, we have like these different environments in here, right? So what we could do, make this a little bigger, is we could go in here, right click, insert a child, and then we could do, well, there's the model environment, right? There is a sculpt environment. I'm not going to do all of them. You know, there's simulation. So you can start out by creating kind of like a mind map of the main thing that you kind of like, you know, that the software probably can do, and at some point you might want to kind of like start, you know, experimenting with all of these different things. There's also there's all different kinds of stuff in here, right? You get the idea. Then you go in and kind of like narrow down, and this can take just a few minutes. I used to do this on paper, but I mean, same thing. So then in the model environment where we're in right now, well, there's definitely the sketch environment. So we can place that in there. There's also in here where we know we're creating solid bodies, right? So we type that in there. And what I'm getting at here is you are breaking down in your brain right now. There is, when you're trying to learn something like this, you know, it's all cramped inside of your head. This way, you're kind of like getting it down on paper or on the screen, and you're kind of like you're starting to unclutter this. So, just to add a couple of more, so we got sketches, solid bodies, assemblies. Maybe we know we got to work with something. There's something called direct editing, might be in here. You can even look, if you look at the screen here, construction environment. That could be something that we might just construction tools. If we know that we need to do something, we know on the make, for example, we have the 3D print. So maybe we want to be able to send this to a 3D printing environment. So you break all this down into the different sections as a brand new user. So you're kind of like doing a little bit of investigation work in here. And then the trick is to actually start eliminating what you're not gonna do first. So if I know that I gotta make a part in the end, I know that I need to maybe use CAM to do that. And in the CAM here, just to add, you know, there will be something like 2D mill, right? That could be in here, 3D mill, you know, all the different aspects that is inside of Fusion. So I know that I need to use these, but I need to conquer something over in this area first. So don't worry about CAM, you will get to that. I need to be in the model space, and if I'm brand new, I probably need to focus on maybe something like sketches, solid bodies, construction tools first, before I need to worry about assembling. And what I would actually do is I would actually number these in importance. So this here is really just a way to take something you need to learn and break it down into smaller segments, and then literally start, you know, kind of like working your way through it. So I hope that this was kind of useful. I actually also used to do this a lot when I quote a job on the shop floor. So if I, for example, let's do another one. So if I was quoting jobs, many times what I would do was I would start out and say finished, if you can spell, finished part, right? And the finished part, before that, it's got to go through inspection. And inspection, then before that, maybe it had to be assembled. Ooh, and then suddenly that's not how you spell assembled. Suddenly I'm like, ooh, wait a minute, this inspection should probably be inspected by a CMM or some kind of a device. Before assemble, maybe it needs to be cleaned. And this here really helped me breaking down the process for how everything kind of like had to work. And then as I was going, I was like, ooh, here I need to check on cutters. Do I have the right cutters for milling this part, right? And you know, from here, this was maybe where Fusion 360 started, right? Where we model up the part. So this way of breaking things down. Do we have the screws for assemble the parts? This is gonna bother me. There we go. So this way of using this kind of stuff to learning things like that, I find extremely helpful. So just a short live stream here today, a little bit about learning some of the things that I think you need to go through to learn something. I hope this was useful, a little bit different. Got this new camera thing. I can't wait to go in and look at how it looks. Some people are saying that maybe it looks a little dark. I definitely can play with that. Like I said, I got some new blue coloring behind me, what I think I kind of dig. I'm not quite sure how clear I am, all that stuff. So if you have, if you don't mind, I would love to get your feedback on that. Hopefully we can get all this straightened away soon, so we can get back to kind of like the pure jumping in and doing live stream. But at least today we verified that it is live streaming. We can see Fusion 360 and so forth. All right, guys. I'm gonna do what I normally do. I'm gonna end the broadcast, and then I'm gonna try to jump into the live stream here and just say hi to everybody. So, until tomorrow, have an awesome day. Thank you so much, guys.